oh my God, I have so much to do. I have to clean the house, pay my bills, and let's see, get the car repaired. But wait, what would you do if you knew you could never get everything done? Panic? Fret? How about absolutely nothing? This is Who Am I?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute and true. That's our purpose.
Who am I?
Okay, now I know no one here can relate to this doing too much, right? Because, y'all just never do anything, right? All of us know somebody's always, got to do something. But, if you think about it, in the scripture, Archibald, that's a book called the Bible, okay? Anyway, there was supposed this God, punished Adam and Eve because he didn't like what they, quote, had done, all right? Or didn't do, all right? And so this punishment was that they will always have to do something. Adam had to have, by the sweat of his brow, he would have to work, okay? And Eve, you women, will have to, suffer pain in childbirth. So there was always something to be done, okay? So we look at it, wait a minute, why is it that always I have to do something? And we all look forward to when we can just plop down the chair and go, turn on the tube and veg out, right? But, we say, yeah, but I get bored if I just stay there all day. I got to do something. I should be, doing something. Do, all right? But that is something we want to look at. Can you really do anything? All right? Yeah, Gloria.
It's like we should be called human doers instead of human beings.
No, that's an interesting way to look at it. Why you say that?
Because as a human, that's what I guess that's what you do. I mean, do.
Yeah.
You're just a doer. And it's like part of the source of that human identity is lack and fear. So from a place of lack and fear, you're always doing something so that you don't have lack.
Yeah.
Or you're always doing something so that you won't be in a place of fear. You're always doing something to get something that you don't already have or to get, you're always doing.
Yes.
So that's a trap there.
The doing?
And that line is a line of separation from God's identity. God's identity, there's no doing, there's just being.
Okay. Now, that's interesting. Now, in the Bible, it's Jesus supposedly said, of myself, I can do nothing. All right? Now, you're going, well, wait a minute, Jesus. Didn't you heal the sick and turn water into wine and, supposedly perform all those miracles? Well, Jesus was saying, you got to look at this thing called I can do. Because he was saying he was totally impotent. He couldn't do anything of himself. All right? But that, as you're saying, Gloria, that goes contrary to the way the human mind operates. And the most basic thing that the human mind does is that it thinks. All right? It is always thinking. And that is basic to the human, what it does. We all had the experience of waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and what goes on? The mind's just doing, running, right? Oh my God, I don't have enough money. Oh my God, what did they say about me? Do you know? On and on. So we're looking at this mind that thinks it has, and notice it thinks it has something to do. And like I said, its primary doing is thinking. And as Gloria was saying, it has to have something called I don't have enough money, so I got to what? Do something to get some money. I got to go to work, all right? I got to go to Kroger, but if I go to Kroger, I got to have some money.
When I went to Israel, they had this sign up there of what Jesus or Yeshua said when he was put up there. And then when it came down, it had what it said when it came down. And when it was up there, it said, the Father and I are one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it took him down, he said, but of myself, I do nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a big difference.
Yeah, well, see, this is what Jesus was looking at. What is really the source of doing? All right? When he said, of myself, I can do nothing, he was realizing that the human, this thinking machine, is the only culprit because it thinks it can take away doing from God. I think I can do something separate from God.
Well, if you are a human, which some people define as human beings spiritual beings occupying a physical body, then you can't have a physical body unless you do. And that is do something to get food, to feed the body, to keep the cells hydrated and fed. So, but if you shed your body, rid yourself of your body, if your body passes away, then do you still have a human identity?
No.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
Well, start with what you know is true. What's absolutely true?
I be.
I am, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, that there is only this. There's only being.
So can beings happen without a body?
Yes, that's the only thing that is. See, if you go and talk to scientists, okay, they will say that there was something, they can't explain it, that out of which Big Bang came, all right? And that something had to exist. It's a being, all right? But then supposedly it changed its state into where it created something called time and space and matter, all right? That's what we said Big Bang is. How is that possible? How can being, which is totally, we call it unmanifested or invisible, all right? Because it's not perceivable to our five senses. The five senses of a human cannot apprehend it. And so we say, it's unmanifested. No, it's a being. Because we think that we are manifested. See, everything you think is Addie, or everything I think is Alan, is based on that there's something separate from God, from the infinite, invisible, non-dimensional being. Okay? It is non-dimensional. Now that is really, you can't get that. I don't care if you're Einstein. You can't get what undimensional is. Because as a thinking human, it has to have some form for you, some limitation.
If you go use your puppet,
Okay.
that puppet we could say represents human.
Okay.
It's a form. And it looks like, if you had it say something, it looks like it's talking, it looks like it's moving.
How are you doing, Gloria?
But we've said at past shows that puppet isn't doing anything. It
Right.
isn't saying anything.
Right.
That it's the puppeteer that's making that puppet move.
Exactly.
So in this form, I think I'm talking, I think I'm moving, but I'm just that puppet. I represent that puppet.
Yes.
So is it the ego that has me saying what I'm saying, doing what I'm doing,
Yes.
or is it something else that has me saying and doing all this?
It is the thought that wants to make sure that you think you have power to do something. Okay? It's that thought. It's kind of like what Carol has shared with us when she had a lucid dream, right, Carol? Well, you shared that, she was in the bed, the Carol we see right here was in the bed asleep like we all do every night, okay? And while, when we were dreaming, she realized that it was a dream. The Carol who was in the bed and the Carol who was in the dream. She realized that Carol was a dream figure. Is that correct?
So where does the ego that she realized that Carol figure was a dream? So is that the ego realizing that?
Yes. See, God doesn't know anything about Carol or Gloria or Alan or even Jesus.
So ego is below the line.
Yes. Anything here below this, and ego means that which separates or thinks is different. Okay, that there are distinctions, differences.
But that's distinct from the quote that you said about Jesus said, "Of myself I can do nothing." Jesus was not referring to, "Of myself I can do nothing," the ego. He was referring to something else, right? Or no?
Well, he was referring that anything below this line is an impossibility. It's impossible to be separate from the infinite. It's impossible for non-being to be, okay? Only being can be, and being is all that there is.
So he was actually saying there is no Jesus.
Right. There's no Gloria. Not as you think Gloria is. See, Gloria or any human thinks that I got a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, lungs, heart, and all that kind of stuff. And aging will, eventually, stop all of this from doing, okay? Because I'm only 29 years old. Y'all know that, right? And why are y'all laughing? Okay. Anyway, the point though is, that this is, it's caught in time. All right. And time dictates supposedly this. All right. But can time be? How can time be when there is only now or infinity. Now is infinite. So that which you think is Gloria, which can act independently, can think she can act independently of Carol, and think that you have some thoughts that Carol doesn't know about, or whatever, your private thoughts. That's impossible. That's what Jesus, when he was referring that this is the lie. Okay.
Okay, I've heard you say something about Michael Jordan when he made 50 points in a game. 80 points, excuse me.
Yes.
80 points in a game.
Don't take it away from Michael
Okay.
Jordan. All right.
And the reporter asked him, "How did you do that?" And he said, "I didn't." What was he referring to?
Well, yeah, athletes have this thing called being in the zone. Yeah. Okay. It's when the thinking mind slows down. Okay. It is kind of like, I think on my Kickstarter question, I asked you if you ever done anything, had the experience of doing something, and then, you realize, hey, it's all done. And it wasn't like a chore, like tedious or whatever, okay? See, when you slow this thing down, then it begins to lose its, seem to grip like hold on you, all right? And says, this is the way things should be, and this is how you should do things, and this is, if you, it's kind of like, well, like I said, it's like we all have heard about, let's say, when a mother and her child is being threatened, she could lift up a car or something like that. Now we know that we call it medically, we call it, the adrenaline and all that stuff is flowing. Well, okay, you can maybe explain about that, but that still isn't it. See, we're always talking about the human. If you are truly, truly God or enlightened, you don't say nothing. You're totally silent. Okay, that's why Alan Carter is lying. Because I'm speaking to, I think, what? A you. Something other than me. I think that there's something, I think there are, 8 of you sitting here. Okay, and I don't know how many of you out there. Okay, maybe 3. or whatever. Okay, yeah, if I'm lucky. But in other words, there's another. How can the infinite one know of something called another? That's an important question. Religions don't go there. Science doesn't go there, and for sure, psychology doesn't go there. Yeah, Addie.
I've heard people say that we are all made in the image and likeness of you know who.
God.
Okay.
That's supposed to be in Scripture, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if we're all made in the image and likeness of God, then we're all
Little
God.
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
If you're made in the image and likeness of God, is God perfect?
Absolutely.
Is Addie perfect?
Of course.
Your nose is getting longer.
Define what you mean by perfect.
Perfect means in the sense that, nothing can be added to or taken away from it. Okay? It's kind of like, you go, no, when you're decorating your house, you go, don't move it. That's, like that kind of thing. It's perfect, okay? So added thinks that something is missing, something's wrong. All right? You're not, you're not like, she is the age that she is now, right? You can't do what she does, right? So, you go, I'm older and I can't, run as fast, whatever, okay? You're lacking something. Every few hours, your stomach is going to tell you, give me some food, okay? So Addie is not in the image of God.
Why did they say that?
Because they made that book up.
They tricked me.
Okay. Yeah, Liddy.
I guess my question is, the I that I am, that is the God part of this whole thing. It's like Lydia doesn't exist. The only I that is here is that one.
Yeah.
And whatever is seen here is almost like an extrusion in itself of what this really is. So it seems to me that's where the likeness is. It's not in what we see here. It is.
Well,
this.
yeah, you can. I'll be right with you, Paul. Most of you think of God as a creator. That's Genesis 1. Okay, almost all religions call God a creator of some sort. Okay. Creation requires time. All right, like Robert and Ruth Carter, my parents created me, and then they had sex, and then 9 months later, so forth, like all of us. Okay, in case you didn't know,
That's
Paul.
not when you were created. You were created when that egg hit the sperm.
Okay, right, medically, all right, whatever. But the point though is there's a time factor involved. Okay, but God can't. When I say God, the infinite presence, omnipresent, can't know about time. All right. But if it could, I'm going to use words very loosely. If it could produce anything, it will have to be in the now, because that's all there is. All right? And so when Jesus says, supposing my thoughts are not your thoughts, if God could think of something, it would have to be now. Have to be, and you don't know what now is. Okay? So that image would be a thought in the now, a perfect now thought. Okay? And that would be the image that has to be now. And that you don't know, I don't care if you're Einstein, you cannot conceive of that.
Because all of our conception, anything that we conceive is conceived in time.
Right.
And now is not a moment in time. It's beyond time.
It's timeless. Yes. Paul, you had your hand up.
Who defines the image of God?
Well, if you want to, you can.
I mean,
Yeah. That's how they made the Bible. People, these centers. See, all you know are your thoughts.
and
Right.
all the people, all the beings on this earth have the same thought.
Yeah. Essentially, all beings have something called lack. Everything comes from lack. I ain't got. Okay? All humans have that as a basis. And then it can my sense of lack will be different than your sense of lack, which will be different than, whoever's.
But as you attempt to define whatever God is or whatever infinity is that the same definition for every being?
No, because you will experience it differently. See, there's always, again, this is why Alan Carter can't speak truth, or Archibald, or Jesus, okay? Because you're going to interpret things in your own, through your own mechanism. And the way that you interpret something, being from, Orangeburg, South Carolina, and me being from Normal, Alabama, or whatever, it would be different. Okay, because Zavinia and your father taught you something different than my mother, and so forth and so on. Okay, so there appears to be, and that's the trouble. There appears to be individual differences. Okay, 8 billion people on this planet. So there appears to be 8 billion different experiences. Okay, but who does it appear to? To me. I always have to go back to who? Me. Because I'm always the subject, okay? So why don't you find out who I is, okay? Everything comes from I. Now, I would say, well, Alan Carter is not God, yeah, but I am that I am. That's absolute, okay? Now find out what I is. That's why we have this show. Yeah, Eddie.
All we know, is what somebody tells us. We wouldn't. If I saw a rat run across the floor right now, I would see a form, and it would be in motion, but I wouldn't know it was a rat.
Right. You've been taught it's a rat.
Right.
Or you've been conditioned.
Yeah.
Okay. But who is that I? That is there an I beyond something being conditioned? See, all conditioning is based in time, okay, in past, okay? My mama taught me, whatever, not to talk and chew food at the same time or something like that, okay?
But I wouldn't know I was a girl if somebody hadn't told me I'm a girl.
Right, exactly, okay? Yeah, and then you have all that's associated with a girl, you're supposed to wear dresses and, all that kind of stuff, okay? But yeah, all societies, and there are conditioning, everybody's conditioned. You're right, okay? But is there something that is before conditioning? Now, that's an intelligent question, okay? Why not go for that, all right? But even, the educational institutions. I got my PhD from Ivy League school from Columbia. They taught me about conditioning, about Skinner, and all of that, okay? Pavlov and all the different types of conditioning. But that is not getting to the source. I want to find out what's the source of being. Tell me something more important than that.
We're not taught that.
Huh?
We're not taught that.
Yeah.
That's not familiar to us.
Right.
That doesn't, it's like you're saying that words can't even describe it. We can't even get close to it.
Yes.
So it's like this human false identity is trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah.
And you can't make sense of it.
Yeah, but more important than making sense of it all is it's about self-preservation of the human thought, that I am a human. Okay, Paul, you had your hand up.
What is this cognition thing?
It's thinking.
But this is something that can't be defined, is that correct?
What, cognition or God?
Cognition.
Well, thinking is that which is a limited experience, okay? And you conceptualize it, put it in a thought context, okay? But who is this you that's doing it? It's a question. That's always underneath everything.
What happens when you sleep? It's there, but you're not there, right?
Yeah, you mean when you're in dream sleep or deep sleep?
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I'm always here. I am always here. I can never say I'm not here, okay? I can never be there. I'm always here. Now, Well, what is that that's always here? That is beyond conditioning. That you are a girl, or that I'm a male, or that I'm black, or that I'm a psychologist, or whatever. Okay, all of that society made up. Why not get back again to the source of all being? Religions won't take you there because they take you to a place called ideology, dogma. Okay? They will tell you that if you're a Christian, Jesus died for your sins. If you're a Muslim, it will tell you that Allah is God and that Muhammad was his prophet. Now, I'm not attacking any religion. Okay? If you have a religion, stay with it. Okay? But realize where it stops. All right? What limits it? And you'll find out it's a belief. All right? It's a belief. And that is psychology. That is the cognition. That is a thought. Now we want to know what was before thought. Well, how would you know when all you do is think? Yeah, Glory.
Well, that's the conundrum.
Yes.
That we can't get there, or it's so unfamiliar, so unrecognizable.
Yes.
But what's below the line is familiar and recognizable.
Oh, yeah.
I can relate to it. I can hate it. I can like it. But the above the line, I don't know what that even feels like.
Yeah, and who's this I that wants, that doesn't
Gloria
know?
doesn't.
Yeah.
But I do.
Lady and then Addie. And then, I'm sorry, Aviva.
My question was, this awareness that is always here, no matter what state we appear to be in, whether it's waking or dreaming or deep sleep, awareness is always here. So we can't say that we don't know it because we are it. We are it.
Yeah, and you can't speak it. Okay, you can't, it's like they say, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. Okay, if you hear somebody says, I know the truth, they're lying. All right, Alan Carter is a liar. I just got the signal that Alan Carter's got to wind this up, okay? So in this, phantom experience called time, I'm winding this up, all right? So just keep open to the question. And the most important question you can ask is, who is I? Because you can't deny I. All right, so find out who I is, and then meet God. Thank you.
Living Truth 365 is proud to support Dr. Alan Carter and the Who Am I television show. Please visit our website at livingtruth365.org to find out more about our services, classes, and community support. We invite you to visit with us and share our journey in truth.